my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this. But it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
Philsgang.com.
There's nothing better than learning from the experts, especially when it comes to investing your hard-earned money.
Hi, this is Phil Grande, host of Phil's Gang Radio Show. At Phil's Gang and philsgang.com, I have one goal in mind: to help you become a skilled investor in the stock market and find your financial freedom. With the Working Investor Program, you will learn what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. You'll develop skills like selling short and how to profit, even in a stock market crash. This is the real world investing information that will give you the edge to be successful in the stock market. No gimmicks, just real strategies, and I'll make the offer even better with a 10-day free trial of the Working Investor Program.
Once you're in the gang, you're in the know. And with the free 10-day trial of the Working Investor Program, there's no reason not to give it a try.
Become a Phil's Gang member and reclaim your financial freedom. Go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. As the new year approaches, make a resolution to challenge yourself to become the best investor you can be. Phil Grande can take your trading to a whole new level. Innovative stock market investing tools and the experience of over 50 years combined to give you the edge in controlling your financial future. As a Phil's Gang member, you're taught the essential strategies of investing using stock charts, training videos, and seminars. It's information Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Apple starting the new year with that downgrade from Barclays, not a good start. Shares falling about 3% or so, and Barclays really laying out the headwinds it's going to expect that's going to result in a tough March quarter.
You know, it's just unbelievable. Welcome to Phil's Gang. Over the holiday, I had an opportunity to do a lot of reading, and I never read such garbage in my life. The way they're pumping this whole stock market, the whole economy, and none of it's true. It's amazing. I told my gang, remember back in October, we bought the bank stocks. We did really great with those stocks. We bought the tech stocks, the same tech stocks everybody buys, and we stayed into it right to the first of the year, or right before the holiday, rather, and we took most of our profits. Because I told them, you know, the clock comes back to 12. You can take a clock, you can kick it, stomp it, drown it, but it keeps coming back to 12. And what people don't realize, because they're so good, these fake business news networks are so good at masking what's going on. And the tourist investors just eat it up. Just eat it up because they're so greedy. They want to make money so fast. They have no idea from 2008 to where we are today was the biggest bubble in history. Markets didn't go up because of earnings. Not at all. It went up because they pushed in nearly $30 trillion to push the stock market up, to create the inflation to push the stock market up. And the rich got richer due to the inflation. And this clock comes back to 12. People have no idea. We have the biggest debt ever. Everybody talks about the 34 trillion debt. How about the 221 trillion unfunded debt? What about the 180 regional banks that are insolvent, ready to drop? How about the 5 big investment banks that are insolvent, ready to drop? The only reason they haven't dropped yet is because the Fed keeps printing money. And with that money, they keep going in and they keep doing QE. Even as of today, they're doing QE. At the same time, doing quantitative tightening. And that is a recipe for disaster. In fact, if you remember, if you go back and you look in 2018, on January, I think it was January 16, 2018, I said, it's been 10 years, we haven't even had a 10% correction. We're going to get one this year, I said. That was 2018. We're going to get one because we're going to get another robo problem, just like what happened in 2008. Remember, and everybody forgets this, if you go back to 2008 and you talk about Lehman collapsing, remember why they collapsed, because they couldn't get any funding. I mean, robo is very important. Robo is where all the banks at night get together and they fund each other. But there's got to be some dollars around to do that. And when you have a government like ours that keeps on borrowing and printing, and they go in and they keep propping the banks up, okay, so they keep lending to companies, and they keep buying from the banks their 10-year treasuries and all their treasuries and their mortgages, and they buy them so that it props up their reserves so they can keep on lending. And people don't realize that that's what's been going on for 13 years. 13 years. That's all they've been doing is keep propping up the reserves to keep them lending. And that's caused massive inflation. We're going to pay for that. In this whole rally, you got 7 stocks that drove this whole rally, 1,200% and 600% in the S&P. I mean, that's insane. 7 stocks. I mean, if you had a racehorse and you put him in a race, 500 races, and he lost almost all those races, except for, let's say he lost 493 races out of the 500, would you praise him? No, you'd shoot him. But what are they doing with these 7 stocks? Praising them. Like, these 7 stocks have saved the world. No, these 7 stocks have done one thing. They've taken the stock market and created such a massive bubble like we've never seen before. And it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. We hear all these things about what's going to, collapse the stock market. It's the same old canned stuff. I use it all the time. Inverted yield curve, banks tightening, housing failures, commercial real estate. They got $3 trillion in failures. All the different things that we throw out every day as to why this market is going to crash. But there's one thing that nobody talks about. Going back to these repos. If you remember, in 2008, and that was, I think it was September 19th when Lehman went under, because Lehman couldn't get any funding. And all the other banks couldn't get any funding. There was no money. There was no dollars around. So Lehman went under it, and all of a sudden the Fed comes rushing in and starts printing money and saved the other banks. And they've been doing that ever since. And that's called quantitative easing. How many times do we hear about quantitative easing? But you got to remember that when they tried to put the money together in 2018 for the banks that night, that repo night, there was no dollars around. And all the banks were going to go under. And then this happened at another time. 2018, I warned about that. And we had a repo blow up then too, because the banks, there wasn't any dollars around. They could not lend to each other. There was no dollars. Fed had to come in and save them. And that's what's going on right now. We're heading for another one of those repo blow-ups, and nobody's talking about it. Anytime that you got the government borrowing money. And then you got the Federal Reserve. And let's put it this way here. When the government borrows money, what do? They go buy the mortgages and they go buy the treasuries, right? That goes to the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve. Now remember, when the government goes in and buys all that crap from the banks to prop them up, where does that crap go? Where do those treasuries go that they bought? Where do those mortgages go they bought? They put them on the balance sheet of the Fed. All right, what happens? Those things come due, right? They always start coming due. They got to be paid. Those are deficits. You got to pay those. So they're on the balance sheet of the Fed. So what do they have to do? They're taking dollars and they're paying them. So wait a minute. So as they keep on taking dollars to pay, let's say the 10-year Treasury deal comes due, they pay it. Okay, that's gone now. So is the dollar. It's not around anymore. There's no more dollar. It's going out in the air. It's gone. It's not in circulation anymore. So all of a sudden you're sitting there with a situation you don't have those dollars to loan to all the banks. And that's what's happening again right now. The same thing that happened in 2008, same thing happened in 2018. We're about ready to have that happen now. And nobody's, I don't know if nobody's talking about it, but I haven't seen anybody really talking about it. A couple people have, yes, I should say that. But that's what's going to hit us next. And when that hits, remember what I'm telling you today, this day, right now, okay, January 2nd, that there's going to be another repo. And every time you get a repo blow up, you get a crash every time. We'll be right back after this break. Talk more about some stocks.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grande and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor Program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grande and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so It's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. So I told my members going into the holiday that they won't see any sell-off in the market. I said, the day we come back, you'll start seeing the first few days a sell-off in the market. Because just like us, many of us made quite a bit of money on tech stocks and bank stocks since October. Because remember, we had that crash or that big downfall from, I think it was July 2023 to October. And that was an opportune time to go in and start buying because these stocks were at a great discount then. And we did. And I told them they would run these stocks up, and then within the first 2 or 3 days after the new year, they'll start dumping these stocks because they didn't want to pay the tax on them. So a lot of the investors held on to them. They didn't want to sell them because they wanted to push their tax liability over to 2024. So that's what you're going to be feeling right now. It's going to be choppy. The market's going to be choppy over the next 2-3 days. And then it's going to settle down. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing all of a sudden the market pull back. It's going to start pulling back 3, 4, maybe 5%. And then it'll start rallying again. But it won't make that new high. It's not going to make that new high again. It's going to fail. There'll be a lower high. And then that's when you're going to get your correction. But it depends on the timing. Because as I said, I can sit here and tell you, as I always have, we're going to get a hell of a crash, one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen, because everything's lining up perfectly. And the one thing that's lining up is the overnight rate hike. Take a look at it. That's the one thing that people don't look at. You look at what the banks are charging each other overnight. And if you go back and look at it in 2008, it went from like 2.5%, 3% up to 5.4%. And that's when they had the crash. They had the repo blow up and then follow the crash within, I think it was about September 15th, 2008, that's when repo blew up. No dollars were around. The banks couldn't loan each other. And then finally the Fed came in and saved them all. And then September 29th, the market crashed. And then we had the same thing happen in 2018. And that happened in the last quarter of 2018. There was no cash around. There's no cash around, and therefore the repo blew up again, and the Fed had to come and save them again. And again, all from the same problem is that when you have the government keep on borrowing money to keep propping the banks up, keep propping the stocks up, and at the same time, when the Fed gets those yields and gets those mortgages and put them on their balance sheet when they come due, they have to keep paying those off. Those dollars are gone, and now all of a sudden we're short dollars. Well, that's where we are now. But this time, I think you're going to see it be a little bit worse. All right, I think it's going to get worse because we've never seen debt like this. We've never had debt and deficits like this, and that's why just look up every day you go start investing. Just look up what is the overnight rate, and if the overnight rate, that's the rate the banks charge each other. If it's more than like 4%, you know you're heading towards a repo blow up. And today I just checked it. I think it was 5.3%. Yeah, 5.3%. That's exactly what it was when it blew up in 2008, 2018. And here we are now, 2024. Now, remember, too, that the yield curve continues to invert. But nobody wants to hear any of this. All they want to hear is what they've been getting all week. The fake business network has been feeding folks what they know they want to hear, that we have a soft landing. You can't have a soft landing. It's impossible. It's impossible to have a soft landing. Because, first of all, rates are not going to go back to 2%. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. We're not going to see 2% ever again. I mean, look at the rates now. Are you kidding me? Even though they say, well, look at the rates came down for a house from 7%, we're now down 6%. Still too high. What difference does that make? You know, it's like somebody saying, well, yeah, but we've seen inflation come down from 9 to 3. So we're okay. We're going to have a soft landing. No, we're not. 9 to 3. You can drown in 3-foot water as much as drown in 9-foot water. You're going to drown. What's the difference? You're going to drown. Does it really matter if it's 3-foot or 9-foot? And we're drowning. This economy's drowning in debt. Does it matter if it's 3 or 9? Doesn't matter. It's drowning. And they've created all this debt. I mean, think about this. We've had deficits. 38 out of 40 years. And these are the worst deficits we ever had. And they're trying to tell you we're going to have a soft landing. No one wants to be truthful. No one. And that's why you're going to see your opportunities will be in gold. Gold didn't have a great year last year, but you watch. Your gold's going to have a good year. And you're going to see gold really take off big this year. I really believe that. And by the way, what I'd be watching right now for the next couple of months, I'd be watching gold and I'd be watching energy. That's where the buys are. Gold and energy. That's what's discounted right now. But you're going to have the same people going in and buying Apple. Apple's up 48%. Microsoft was up 56% this year. Google 58%. Amazon 81%. Imagine you're buying NVIDIA. It was up 238%. Meta 194%. Tesla 101%. What are you, nuts? So you had the Dow up 13%. You had the S&P up 24%. And now that 24%, all but I think 4% of it was those same magnificent 7 stocks. Imagine if you took those 7 stocks out of the S&P, it'd be flat. The best performer really was IWM. And here's the other thing why you're going to have a crash. And nobody's talking about. IWM is one of the most important indicators. It's a big indicator as to what your market's going to do. And when IWM is in trouble, and I'll tell you the kind of trouble it's in, the market will crash. Always does. It always does. Just like your overnight rates. More on that when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something that this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Phil Grande here, Phil's Gang Radio Show. Tired of Wall Street's games? We've got the antidote. Learn the art of short selling. And then you're going to gain a top-notch stock market education with Phil's Gang and philsgang.com. We're so confident you'll love it because we're offering a 10-day free trial to our working investor program. No gimmicks, just real strategies. Sign up to a Phil's Gang membership today and take control of your financial future. Visit www.philsgang.com now.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing is to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join our gang free for 10 days. That's right, 10 days doesn't cost you a penny. You'll learn how to buy stocks, sell stocks. You'll learn how to use our program, our QE program, which really is a wonderful aid. And again, you can use it for 10 days free. It doesn't cost you a thing. When I say it's a wonderful aid, and I haven't seen a good aid as good as this anywhere, it tells you when your stock has the highest probability of going up and the highest probability of selling off, and rarely is it not correct. It's always correct. And you get to use that for 10 days. So I can say that 100 times. You're not going to believe me when I say that we have a program and we put it on a chart and it has the algorithms to detect the money flow, so it identifies for you on the chart. It gives you the signal identifying, hey, does this stock have a higher probability of going up than down? And it's always correct. So that's why we give you 10 days so you can look at it yourself and you say, God, he's right. This thing really works. So check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Sign up for 10 days. It's free. Also, I also wanted to tell you, I tell many people who sign up, because many say after about a week or so, they'll say, you know, it's just too much for me. I don't have time. And I always say to them, then you got time for the spiders. Stay with our spider program. Because with the spider program, if you just did purchasing of the spiders, SPY, over 30 years, look it up yourself, the average each year, you get about an income of 10% a year. 10% gains a year. You don't get that with a 401k because you got 27 hidden fees. And they screw you. So the S&P, now if you learn how to sell a stock short, so when the market does go down and have these pullbacks, you're making money rather than just sitting there hoping your stocks only go up because that's all you know how to do. What a difference. I mean, the ratio of you're going to be successful just shoots up, because now you're not just sitting there hoping a stock goes up. You don't care if it goes up or down. You're making money. So go to my site, philsgang.com, and just click where it says Get Started, and you can sign up for 10 days, okay? All right. Now, let's go back to, you're going to see a couple days like this. Tomorrow morning we'll probably open up positive, and that'll be the plunger team. They'll send them in, and they'll go in early in the morning, and they'll buy futures, and so it'll be open, like probably you see implied open in the morning early, probably up 35, 45, or 65. Those are the numbers they always use, 35, 45, 65. And then you're going to see this. Then you're going to see it go back down again. But during this process, keep looking for the groups that have relative strength. So like our tech group, our bank group, and our defensive group, we're looking for stocks now. Which one of these stocks didn't go down today? Which have relative strength? That's the beautiful thing. That's what you look for in these down markets, like a day like today. Because this market's not set to crash yet. I mean, it wants to crash, but they're still, remember what they're doing. They still have the banking program, the bank term funding program. That's holding up 180 banks they're insolvent. They're insolvent. They don't have any, they're broke. Remember, we already saw 3 of them go down. Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic, Signature, they all went down. And so they're just holding these things off. And don't forget, we got another 5 banks, 5 of the biggest investment banks in the country that are insolvent, but they'll never let those go down. And in fact, the 180 banks, they have unrealized losses because they set it up. They don't have to tell you their losses until they go broke. So you get a statement in the bank and the stock's up, it's all wonderful, but you don't know in the back room they're losing $650 billion. That's right. But by law, because Congress is crooked,
You know, all they have to do is pay these boys off. By law, they don't have to disclose to you, the investor, that bank, those banks as an aggregate are in the whole $650 billion. They didn't have to disclose that wonderful Silicon Valley bank that everybody was making big money on, and First Republic and Signature were in the whole $60 billion. Oh, they didn't have to do that. No one, they learned about that when it went broke. But that's how they set up the law, so they don't have to disclose that. Isn't that nice? Wouldn't you love to have a business like that? But I want you to think about this. I don't care how many cuts. They can keep saying they're going to cut. They're going to go back to zero interest rates, which is hogwash. But they can keep saying they're going to cut. They're going to cut. You can do 5 cuts, 10 cuts, 3 cuts. I don't give a damn how many cuts you do. It's not going to make any difference. Because it's not the cuts. It's the damn debt. The debt is too high. We have never been in a situation. 38 out of 40 years, we run deficits. We keep running deficits. Do you think for some reason this is going to change? Remember, for them to say we're going to have a soft landing, that has to change. They're lying to you. Think common sense. They're saying we're going to have a soft landing. You can't have a soft landing. It's impossible to have a soft landing. Because again, we keep on running this debt and deficits. And remember, with debt and deficits, it keeps causing inflation. Inflation is still going up. It's not going to stop. Remember, it causes trade deficits. It reduces business investment. It slows our growth. Are you kidding me? Look at our trade deficits. We're losing about $90 billion every month. What are you, nuts? Going to have a soft landing? See, they don't want you to hear this stuff. They don't want you to hear this stuff. And our debt and our deficits keep on growing. It's crowding out investment. Our durable goods, slowing. No orders. Hardly any durable goods. Remember, big screen TVs, stuff like that? Hardly any orders. Productivity in manufacturing are down. And they lie to you. Oh, boy, manufacturing's really doing... No, it's not. It's doing terrible. They're not telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. But it doesn't matter to us because we're going to make money whether the market goes up or down. It's the poor folks who are stuck in 401ks and stuck in the market only can buy. They're going to get screwed. Also, another reason why we're going to have a huge crash, bigger than any of the crashes we ever had. Because what we're watching right now is we're watching a contraction of the money that's sitting out there. Our money supply, not to be confused with the money reserves at the bank. Remember, money supply is if all our checking accounts, our savings accounts, our 401k accounts, that's all called money supply. When the Federal Reserve goes in and saves a bank and says, hey, they go and say, hey, Joe Suckface Bank, I'll buy your treasuries, and here I'll buy your mortgages. Here's a check for $20 billion or $1 million. Now you're back in business. Remember, that money, all that does, that shores up their reserves so they can keep lending. Doesn't have anything to do with the money supply. Where we are in trouble now, and no one's explaining to you, is that we are in such deep trouble right now because what's happening is when the government continues, that's how they're holding these banks up. They're holding 3 of the biggest investment banks ever up by buying their crap, buying their treasuries, buying their mortgages, and putting it on the balance sheet of the Fed. But the problem is, the Fed's sitting there on their balance sheet, and those things are coming due. And the Fed has to take their dollars and keep on paying those things off, and the dollars are going down, down, down. So then when all the banks get together, they're going to loan each other over there. There's no dollars. There's no dollars. And that's what we're heading for right now. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but just keep watching your overnight rate. If you keep seeing always look for what is the overnight Fed rate. And if you see anything above 4%, you know we are heading in that direction. But it doesn't matter, because if it does collapse, then we'll just short. If it doesn't, we'll just keep going long. And don't forget, the other thing we got to be looking at is the contraction like we had in 1929, 37, 48, 2020. When you see a contraction of the money
supply, that sets you up too for another failure.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, if you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grande.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth, you get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. Clarity, good information, and fun.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. As the new year approaches, make a resolution to challenge yourself to become the best investor you can be. Phil Grande can take your trading to a whole new level. Innovative stock market investing tools and the experience of over 50 years combined to give you the edge in controlling your financial future. As a Phil's Gang member, you're taught the essential strategies of investing using stock charts, training videos, and seminars. It's information Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back. In July, we shorted the market, and we shorted bank stocks, and we shorted tech stocks from July down to October. We did really well. Then we turned around, and we switched our positions, and we went long the same tech stocks that we shorted, the same bank stocks that we shorted. And we did terrific. We caught all of October, November, right up to December, that whole rally. So the idea is once you learn how to do both, long and short, then you are in charge of the market. Otherwise, if you got to just sit there and hope that you find this hot stock, you're going to fall into the category of 80% of people losing money in the stock market. It's always been that way. But I also want you to, what I'm going to tell you right now is going to happen. And when they tell you this is the reason why we had a crash, I want you to remember I told you when you heard about it here first. First of all, anytime you have wages increasing, you hear how they always brag out, boy, under Biden, wages are really increasing. But what they don't tell you is, under Biden, wages are increasing, but they keep cutting hours. And you go back in history, every recession has been tipped over when you see that, when wages increase, but then they cut back the hours. It's all political, right? And the backlog of orders all of a sudden are diminishing. We don't have those back orders. This is all happening right now. But then we have the real problem. As I said earlier, okay, we have the money supply contracting as we did in 1937, 48, and in 2020. That causes a big problem. Now that's your money supply. Now that's different. The contraction money supply is different than tightening, okay? Money supply, again, remember, is all your savings account, checking account, bank accounts, 401ks, mutual funds. That's all that stuff you roll up in a ball, and that's called money supply. What the banks do, the feds do, they go buy the bank's assets, give them cash so they can live for another day, propping up their reserves so they can keep lending, try to keep them in business until they don't do it anymore, then the crash comes. So again, the biggest thing you should be watching right now is keep watching what is that Fed rate, overnight Fed rate. Is it going to stay above that 5%? That's very, very dangerous, okay? Very dangerous. That's telling you a crash is right around a corner. And it's never been wrong. Same with the contraction in money supply. Just keep an eye on that. If it keeps contracting, then you combine those two situations, I don't care what Biden does. The only way that this could stop and put us on the right course is that if he announced today, Biden, he's going to change his ways. Congress is going to change their ways. They're going to stop spending more money than the tax revenue comes in. That they decided, they found God, and they are going to stop, as of today, spending more money than the tax revenues. That they announced we're only going to spend the tax revenue. Exactly what comes in, we're going to spend. This could be saved in a heartbeat. Now, if you think this guy would do that, or this Congress would do that, when for 3 out of 40 years, they've never, only 3 out of 40 years have they done that. 3. Now, this is the same guy. Remember, this Biden's the same guy that he increased our debt and deficits by sending $60 million to 3 of his favorite Democrat governors, and who are his best money bundlers for his campaign. The purpose of that money, and it was added to our debt and deficits. We didn't have it. You had to print money to build 2 new ski areas and 3 golf courses and 12 ferry boats for these governors who are his best bundlers, who raised money for him for his campaign. You think he'll stop doing that? If you don't think he would stop doing that he's a good man and he would stop doing that, and he or our Congress are good people, they would stop doing it and start looking out for us rather than the party and the power, then the market's going to crash. There's no way to stop it. And they can, all week long, I couldn't believe this. I'm not going to take another vacation because I keep reading too much. And I was going nuts. I was hitting my head against the wall. I go, these people are just bull-faced liars. $27 trillion is the reason that the stock market has rallied from 2008 to where we are today. Not earnings, not profits. But nobody wants to believe it. Are you kidding? And you got 7 stocks holding this whole market up, and people don't believe the market's going to crash again, that everything's fine? That's insane. You know when they keep telling us, boy, the consumer's strong, how strong the consumer is? You know where they're getting that money from to go buy stuff? The moratorium
on the student loans. The billions of dollars. Why do you think Biden keeps fighting the Supreme Court? Even though the Supreme Court said, stop, you can't do that. They got to pay. And Biden says, no, don't pay. Never mind the Supreme Court. Don't do it. We're going to stuff it anyways. Don't worry about it. We're going to put everybody on there who's in our favors. Don't worry. Just keep going. Don't worry about it. That's where all the money came in. That's when you hear these guys on CNBC, the fake business network. Boy, did you see how resilient the consumer is? Where do you think the money was coming from? Now, for your stocks, if you join our gang today, we're just setting up our stocks for 2024, and we'd love to have you participate with us. And just start off with 10 days free. And you're going to learn how to control the market by controlling your emotion. And how do you control your emotion? By having the confidence that when you look at a stock, you're going to know if it has a high probability of going up or a higher probability of going down. And it's always correct. It's called Pro 2. Pro 2. And you're going to, and you can convince you, I don't have to sell that to you. You'll have to convince yourself of that by using it for 10 days free. Now, at the end of the 10 days, if you don't want to do it, if you think you just don't have time, that's okay. Why don't you stay with our program, our Spider program? It's the only thing you need to own. And you'll be buying and be selling short. And just buying alone is an average 10% return. Just check it out yourself. Don't take my word for it. Over 30 years, 10%. 10% a year. That's the average over 30 years. Pretty good, isn't it? You don't get that from your 401k. Even if you did, you lose it all with 27 hidden fees. So this is our first day back. It's going to be, for another couple of days, it's going to be, again, a little, I don't want to use the word violent, but it's going to be volatile, thank you. It's going to be a little volatile, okay, because you're going to see the big boys coming in, all of a sudden dump more NVIDIA. Dump 7 of those 7 stocks where all the hedge funds made all their money. And remember, that's where all the money's been made, on 7 stocks. 7 stocks. You pull that money out of the market, nobody made any money in the stock market. Nobody made any money in the stock market since 2009. If you pull 2008, if you pull all those out, imagine that. And the market went up 1,200% because of those 7 stocks, the Nasdaq, and I mean, is that hard to believe? That's incredible. That's unbelievable. I mean, think about it. And the S&P went up 600%. That would have never happened. Now, so this year we ended 2023. I'll give it to you. Dow up 13, Spiders up 24, and as I said, since 1957, it's up an average of 10% every year. IWM, on average rather. IWM, that was the one I told my members to keep watching. In the week going up to the final close, I said, keep watching IWM. Stay long with your stocks as long as IWM keeps going up. But here's another thing why the market's going to collapse. You can't have the Dow 30 or the S&P making new highs, and IWM is 50% or 40%, whatever it is, away from new highs. You can't have a divergence where your Dow and your S&P are making all-time new highs or close to it, and IWM, the Russell, the 2,000 stocks, are about 40% away. It doesn't work. It drags it down. But nobody's going to tell you that either. They won't tell you that. See, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you about the pivot. They're not going to tell you about the biggest problem we're having right now. We're going to fall into that robo problem where we got, again, the Federal Reserve, the government borrowing crazy. And then at the same time, we got the Federal Reserve, who's not any more reserve than Federal Express. They're out there tightening. Anytime you got borrowing and tightening, you're so screwed. But they're not going to tell you that. Nor are they going to tell you we got a big problem with the money supply. That's shrinking. They're not going to tell you that either. Join my gang. See you on the chart. Free for 10 days.
You You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make my dream.